I made this just over a year ago when I made a barbecue platter as a present, and like I always do when I make cutting board type things, I made several because it's just as easy, and then you have some extra gifts and items around in the shop. And I was just down here getting ready for another cutting board project, and I pulled this one out to look at it, and I discovered that one of the joints has failed. Now it's this hairline crack. I'm going to try some close-up shots showing you how you can fit like a knife into it, and I'll shine a light behind it so hopefully you can see it extends down about this much, where it's like either I didn't use the glue or the glue failed. It's just, I can't leave it like that because now it's useless. I can't give somebody a fake cutting board, and I don't really want to pour epoxy into it. I mean, I could, but I don't really want to pour epoxy into it. Instead, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it apart and glue it back together. Now the thing is that this was already finished. It's already got the juice groove in it. And if this was just a regular cutting board, you know, break it apart, glue it back together, send it through the planer again, and then it's just, you know, a 32nd or a 16th of an inch thinner. I'm gonna see if I can fix this without having to do that. So I will need perfect alignment, and yeah, it's just going to end up 1/8 of an inch narrower, which is the width of the saw blade. So let's get a saw blade set in the table saw, we'll cut it apart, and let's see what we can do. Normally I have a full kerf saw blade in my saw, which is a full 1/8 of an inch thick, but I happen to have this older thin kerf blade, and I'm going to try that so that we can make a considerably skinnier cut when I'm cutting this apart, because obviously you want to minimize the amount of waste that's going to happen here. I've got a very thin strip here that I want to preserve, but I still want the saw to make sure it's doing at least a little bit of a cut in both sides of the glue joint. So that was actually a beautiful cut. On this piece, it is practically glue ready. Here on this piece, let's see, it's pretty good, but then here you can see where the glue joint had failed, and here it just popped off. So this part did not go through the cut. So I'm going to have to clean this up first. I think I'll just run it through and just skim it off with the table saw, and both pieces are then going to go through the joiner. The Type On 3 glue going. Oh, come on. Let's clean the glue bottle before we push record on the camera, shall we? Now, we have to remember, what's the goal here? The goal is not that I will never know there's a difference. The goal is that the average person looking at this will never have a clue that it's repaired. As woodworkers, we always see all the flaws. Nobody else does. Now I brought my deep throat clamps, but I don't think I need them. I seem to have a really smooth joint here. I think it's good, and I'm just going to leave it alone now and let it dry. So it's actually a couple of days later, and I'm ready to take this out of the clamps. Looks like I got a good glue joint here and feels really good. So let's see. So that's really it. Quick little repair. Sure, we all know that this is a little bit skinnier than it was before, but this is a random arrangement cutting board. It was not a regular pattern. I have some skinny and wider and skinnier strips here and there. It doesn't really matter. Nobody's ever gonna know except you and me, and we're not talking. So quick little repair vid. I hope you found something interesting, enjoyable. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next time.